It's one thing to say that gender is performed, and that's a little different from saying gender is performative. When we say gender is performed, we usually mean that we've taken on a role, we're acting in some way. To say that gender is performative is a little different, because for something to be performative means that it produces a series of effects. We act and walk and speak and talk in ways that consolidate an impression of being a man or being a woman. The more cultural acceptance, the more cultural discourse, the more media presentation, the more proximity that people have to gay, lesbian, bi, trans people, the more that life becomes thinkable. So, there are institutional powers like psychiatric normalization, and there are informal kinds of practices like bullying, which try to keep us in our gendered place.
So when I think about what the University of Waterloo could do, the first thing the campus could do at many levels is create spaces where students, faculty, staff, and administrators can name their experience with gender violence on this campus.
At nighttime, it's super dark on campus. There's dark, all of the trees cover the floodlights. There's no light, and I don't feel safe walking around campus. So around winter time, when it gets dark early, I just want to get out of here because I don't feel safe.
I think it's probably important for males as well to participate in the discussion rather than just kind of looking from the side oh, they're talking about women's issues, let me go to class. So that kind of just having a conversation and bring the issues out there, I feel that would help.
Even starting with acknowledging territory, where are we walking? And that would be very important as a first step for the university to address those particular issues in terms of indigeneity in Canada and recognizing the heterogeneity and how that appears on campuses like the University of Waterloo, and how we can begin to know more and open up conversations about how we can integrate those knowledges into our campus.
I just wanted to be a part of this event in particular to show, the discrimination and that Aboriginal women feel when it comes to these types of things. We don't often report things. We don't trust the police. We don't trust government. And the numbers, she has a list of 1,000 women's names. There's probably closer to 4,000 that we don't know of, that their deaths have been listed wrongly, stuff like that. So it was really important to actually see 1,000 names be written on the quad here.
Remembering the names of missing and murdered Indigenous women, I think it's a very important thing to do, for this campus to do.
My wife is First Nations from the Mississauga Schooley Island, and so it's something that is close to our hearts and close to our minds, and I feel it's important to honor these people, these women, and make sure they are remembered.
I brought my students here today. I'm teaching a philosophy of art class, and for these last few weeks of the class we're looking at feminist philosophy of art and feminist art, and we were going to stay in the classroom and work through some pretty abstract theory, and then it occurred to me how meaningful to them it might be to come and make their bodies part of a shared feminist artistic practice. And so we made a last minute change of plans and we came here, and they're really engaged.
And it's very exciting to see that the new government has taken a stand and they're pledging to launch the inquiry, and it's very important that they follow through. And these kinds of acts of solidarity show that people care about this issue and that people will not be silenced.